Welcome to Worship with Isaiah and Friends. Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Worship with Isaiah and Friends. We're back again with another episode, and I'm glad you guys are back to join us. So, on today's episode, we have someone who has caught the attention of many in different ways. I stumbled across this individual on TikTok, and she was singing at an event, a live event, and I was like, whoa, who is this individual? Only for said individual to then turn up at my church, and has now become a member of the family. She's very, very talented, very gifted. She's taken a lot of us by surprise, and I am particularly looking forward to having this conversation with her to find out a bit more about where she's come from, how she's got to where she is today. And yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity to speak with her, and excited to hear more about this individual. And I'm sure you guys would agree. Yeah, she's someone that you guys need to keep an eye out for, because she's climbing. And a lot of people will be excited to see what God is going to do in her life. So, yeah. Introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you are.
Hi, everyone. My name is Bukunola. Thank you so much, Oye, for having me on this podcast. What would you like me to tell them about myself?
Who are you? Who's Bukunola? Tell us, who are you?
Who am I? I am a teacher. I'm also a worshipper. I am one of 4. I don't know what to tell you about myself. I just recently graduated. I'm very passionate about worship, passionate about creative things. Actually, I'm finding that out more and more. I love people, actually, and I love to see people walking in their purpose. I love to see people like falling in love with who they're actually supposed to be, and like discovering that about themselves as well. So yeah.
Amazing. So yeah, thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. I'm super excited for this conversation. I know you have a lot of wisdom to share. Yeah, so let's just get straight into it. So where did it all begin? How did you end up as a worship leader?
Okay, so funnily enough, it actually started at university. So before university, I used to sing at church. So I grew up in church. My whole family went to church. And my family's quite musical. So my dad loves like 80s music, 70s music, so like Earth, Wind and Fire, all that stuff. My mom loves gospel. So every morning I would either wake up to 80s or something in Yoruba or something worship related. And then my brothers also love music. So my brothers liked to make their own music when they were growing up. My sister also could sing as well. So like growing up around that, I think it was just natural that I would also flock to that as well. And my sister actually, whether she knows it or not, inspired me a lot to want to know how to sing, because her voice is so beautiful. So I used to think, if she can do it, then I want to be able to do it too. Yeah. So yeah, her music taste inspired me a lot. And then at church, because they knew that she could sing, then I also got roped into singing as well. And then it became such that like I was the only person that would get picked to do stuff at church out of the youth. So I would lead worship if it was a youth takeover, or be asked to join the adult choir and do a lot of that stuff at church. And I really enjoyed it, but I think I didn't really understand what I was actually doing. Like, I just thought I was going up there and singing, but I didn't understand the privilege of worship at that point. So it got to a point where I think I just got a bit tired. Like, there were Sundays that I didn't want to do it, but I didn't feel like I had a choice. So not that I resented it, but I just felt a bit tired of it. And I wanted to be able to say, yes, I want to, or no, I don't want to. And where maybe I didn't always feel like I had that option, it pushed me away. So when I took a gap year and then I started uni after the pandemic. And when I went there, I said to the Lord, sorry, I won't be joining any worship team. I'm just going to sit at church and I'm just going to be in the back. And that's what I want to do. And then the first day, I went to like not careers fair, the societies fair.
Mm-hmm.
And the president of the youth fellowship that I joined literally appeared from nowhere. Like, I'm not even joking. He wasn't there. He appeared and was like, you look like you can sing. Can you sing? And I said, is this a prank or something? Because I said, I'm not doing this. So a bit of tussling. Long story short, I went to the fellowship, but I wasn't consistent because I also wanted to play sports at my university. And then in February, one day, some people from our church now actually randomly appeared on that day that I decided to go back, and we all worshipped together after the fellowship. And from that day, I was like, oh, this is actually a beautiful thing what we're doing here. And so my heart was softened in that moment to actually join the worship team. And I would say that was the beginning of me in worship.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Quite a journey.
Yeah.
It's exciting that you've been able to even sustain it, because like you said, even if when you're kind of the one that's always being called upon, it's like you can often get to a point where it's like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And then even when another opportunity comes up, it's like almost you can kind of push that away straight away. But thank God you didn't.
Yeah.
Because it kind of it's almost led you to where you are today.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's amazing to hear. So what does worship mean to you?
To me, I think the definition evolves a lot actually, like as I grow more in my understanding of God. But fundamentally, worship to me is sacrifice and it is obedience. And I think when I was learning, or I'm still learning, right? But one thing that the Lord highlighted to me was like the imagery of a wedding and marriage and your commitment to him. So obviously worship is sacrifice and it's obedience, right? But the way it was like, the way I envisioned it, when people walk down an aisle, you're walking down to an altar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's two people making a commitment to each other. So you have the groom already standing there and he's ready for you. And then the bride walks in and she's like prepared herself to come and meet him. And you make this commitment. And to me, it's like, when you even look at how beautiful a wedding is two people deciding that they're going to commit to each other for life. Mm-hmm. And obviously we know biblically the wife submits herself to the husband the same way like I'm submitting myself, right? And this being the bride of Christ, I'm submitting myself to him. And I'm choosing that every day, what covenant I've made at this altar, I'm walking it out every single day of my life. Like it's not just that I've come to an altar one day and I've said I've given my life to Jesus and I've left it there. But every day that I've decided to wear this label as a Christian, I'm reminding myself of the covenant I have made to be with him. Mm-hmm. So my whole life has to reflect this union that I'm part of. And it's like, the way I see it, when you leave your father and you join your husband and you become one, I've left whatever it was that I was a part of outside of Jesus, and I've become someone that's under his government now. I'm subject to his authority. I'm subject to his headship. And I've decided to bring myself into union with him. So now everything I do is a response of my love to him. Everything I do is a response of my understanding, his sovereignty, like everything about him. I choose to respond from a point of worship, sacrifice, obedience. And it's not always easy, just like a marriage isn't always easy, right? But knowing that I've made this commitment, I choose to subject my flesh to what I know that I should be doing so that I can walk that out.
I feel the Lord, man. Yeah. Wow. This is heavy stuff. Yeah. Wow. Sorry, that I don't know why I'm laughing, but yeah, that was, you said a lot there. You said a lot there. So many gems in what you just said. I think, like you said, obedience is key.
Yeah.
Is key. I really love that the narrative of walking down the aisle and committing and being the bride of Christ and submitting to him. That's worship unto God. That's beautiful. I've never looked at it like that,
It's so interesting,
never
isn't
looked at
it?
it like that.
It's like, and you know what? It's so funny. Like when you study scriptures, or I feel like it's so riddled with that. Like everyone always quotes Amos 3:3, like, how can two walk together unless they agree? And I don't know what happened one day. I was studying my Bible and I was like, yeah, guys, because we had a prayer call, like me and my friends. I was like, yeah, guys, we're going to pray this prayer point. And then I was like, everyone likes to do the whole, what is the Greek? What is the Hebrew? Da, da, da.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, what does it actually mean to agree? And like the analogy I had in my head before I went to search it was like, one thing has to submit to something else. Like somebody has to give way for you to come into agreement with someone else. Like you can't both be hard-headed and think you're going to come to an agreement. So something has to subject itself to something else, right?
Yeah.
But then when you look at the Hebrew definition anyway, I think the word is like yard or something like that. But it means betrothed. Like it actually means marriage. It actually means to complement each other and come together. So then I was thinking, like the more you actually see scripture, there is this kind of consistent theme of two becoming one in the form of worship and agreeing with each other, whether it manifests itself in different ways, but this idea of two becoming one and one subjecting to the other is so prominent. So like, I don't know, but I think maybe because the Lord knows I just love love, man. I just be loving love. I love weddings and this stuff. So I don't know, but I think even understanding like the gravity of what a marriage actually is, and maybe with my background, me finding that such a beautiful thing, like he knows it speaks to me in volume. So maybe that's the reason why that's still
Yeah. He will find a way to relate to you, to what you like, what you're familiar with, you know, and that's how it kind of happens. And that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. So what are some key lessons that you've learned on your journey as a worship leader?
Okay. One of them would be not to compare myself to other people. I was asked this question recently as well, and I was saying that after I decided to join that fellowship, for the next academic year, they made me the worship leader. But because we didn't have an MD, I kind of had to take on both roles, and I didn't know what I was doing, man. Sorry. I knew I was part of like my church stuff, but we didn't have, what do you call it? We didn't have like structured rehearsals per se. So I didn't really know how to run a rehearsal. I didn't really know like technical things to do with music. And then people were coming, they were new to worship, new to music, and I didn't really know what to do. So I was like, I felt like I was kind of a deer in headlights kind of thing. And then there was another fellowship, and like I didn't know this girl, but I had met her the year that she came because she was final year. And she was the worship leader of that fellowship. And she's just an amazing worshiper. I love her. We're so close now. I love her. But I think I almost felt insecure like when I would watch her initially at the beginning of my journey. I was like, oh, she knows how to do this. She knows how to lead technically. She knows how to teach people this stuff. And I don't know how to do that. And I almost diminished the beauty of what the Lord gave me because there's one thing I didn't know how to do. And I think what I learned was like comparing yourself is so dangerous because it really makes you undermine what the Lord has put in you, but it also makes you think a lot about yourself. Like it's not about you. Nothing's ever really about you. But I, at one point, made a lot of things about me. And I think that's something the Lord really had to teach me. Like, don't compare yourself to her. You're learning stuff and that's great. She's also learning stuff that you might not be able to see. But I think, knowing that the important thing is to get to know the person that gave you the gift. And the important thing is understanding why he gave you that gift and how he wants to speak. What expression does he want to release through you? And the minute you start to fall in love with him and he reveals that to you, then that's the thing that becomes important, not what can the person to my left do that I can't do.
Very good.
Yeah, that's one lesson. And then another lesson I would say is, I think being okay with not always knowing what is going to happen and what you're doing. I think like sometimes, people will call on you like, oh yeah, can you do this? Can you lead worship? Can you do that thing? And being in a position where like you have structured rehearsals maybe, or okay, we're going to do this set, we're going to do it like this. You kind of have an idea, or you pray and it's like, okay, I feel the Lord saying we're going to do this in this event. And then the Lord will just shift something and you're just kind of like, oh, that's not what we rehearsed behind closed doors, Lord. So why are we doing that? But I think being okay to say, oh yeah, ultimately it's let his will be done. Let him be glorified. So yes, become malleable to what he wants to do and be okay with not knowing. But the thing that should be on your mind is, am I able to hear what he wants me to do and be able to move with him like that? I think that's something that I've learned that's really important. Yeah,
that's really good because I think you make two good points. And I'll touch on the second point. I think when it comes to the idea of like sometimes we have an agenda of our own, and we often have to let that go, because when you begin to make it about you, then it's a performance.
Yeah.
Until you fully let him take control of whatever it may be that's happening in the room, you're just a vessel at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, he can use anybody else. He doesn't have to use you.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to. You're just there.
Yeah.
You're there, but you're being used because you're willing, readily available to do it. But once you begin to make it about yourself, you can get removed like that. Like that.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So once we allow ourselves to be vessels that are ready for whatever happens, because not gonna lie, sometimes when you prepare a nice list and it's like, oh, this is, I like the way this is flowing.
Yes,
but
that comes void of the Spirit of God.
Yeah, like it doesn't always work like that. Sometimes he's gonna say, okay, cool, I know we've sat together and we've prepared this, but the room doesn't feel like they're ready for that right now. So I'm gonna need you to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we often neglect what we can hear and think it's like we can often think that it's not God speaking to us, and it's like, oh, something's trying to distract me from what I've already done. Like because you've prepared with God, because you've sat with him, you've put the list together.
Yeah.
But there's some Sundays you walk into a room and it's like there's just something really heavy in the atmosphere. I think there was a time I was leading prayer at church once. Obviously I'd prepared in advance, had my prayer points down. I was like, yeah, God, we're going to do this. We're going to pray about this. We're going to pray about that. We're going to do that. And then I walk into the room and I remember I said to Esther Sule, I was like, hey, all that conversation we just had about prayer points, it's done. I don't think that's what we're going to be doing.
So funny.
And it's like, we have to always be willing to hear what he wants to do. But like I said, we're just vessels at the end of the day. Like, it's not about me, it's not about you. We're just here making ourselves available to do that which he wants to do. Because we're just there to create room for him. There might be Sundays where the minstrels are just going to have to release. You're not going to sing. And you have to be okay with that.
Yeah.
But sometimes it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. And that's part of the journey. Like, the thing about God is that he will always surprise us. And the minute you get too comfortable, when it happens, that's how you're going to have that feeling like, raw, like, is that something like,
right? And that's
is that the enemy trying to pull me away from what God has told me? But sometimes you actually have to look like, no, it's actually that still small voice that you hear. That's telling you, let's shift from that list we did in the morning to just waiting on me. Give me the space and I promise you I will move.
I think that's so good. I think sometimes, like, you do kind of, I think it's two ways. Sometimes I think like it's pride that sometimes stops someone from being able to hear that voice, right? Because it's like, but this set bangs. This song, this song, are you crazy?
Like, you not hear the way it's flowing? Like, did you not hear us when we did sound check?
Exactly.
Like,
did you see?
Everyone's
harmonizing. You're right.
Like,
but then it's actually like, no, it doesn't matter if it sounds good to you. And I think that's another thing that I learned. So, people would always laugh at the aunties back in the day. And they'd be like, oh, she sounds like this. And, but, we don't want to listen to aunties sound like that. Can we have people that can sing? But I used to think like, actually, maybe sometimes they're not the most technically strong person, right? But the heart that they carry and the revelation they have of what the Lord can do in a room, it reminded me that it's not really about like how, obviously excellence and your skill is an important thing, right? But it's not always about how refined it sounds. It's about allowing the Spirit of God to take preeminence and lead you in a place. And I think, the one person that really taught me that was Theophilus Sunday back in his, the original songs. And I think one time someone played me a song from him and I said, this is powerful. But then he did one note and I said, this moved me so much, but it doesn't sound like your stereotypical worship leader. And then I think that's when I opened my eyes to realize that when you're so undignified before the Lord, your first port of call is not always how amazing do I sound, but how am I allowing his expression to come through. So Yeah, I think that's so important.
Yeah, no, that's it's one that's often neglected in conversations. But yeah, no, I think even as you touched on the point of excellence, I think for you as a worship leader, how would you say you are stewarding your gift? And if there is anything that you can give to people as an example or encouragement, what would it be on how to steward their gift for it to become excellent in the eyes of God?
How am I stewarding it?
Yeah.
Okay. I would say this is actually something that me and God have been talking about a lot recently. Because I mentioned to you before, like I didn't grow up with a technical background per se. I think me realizing that, yes, the Lord has gifted me with something good, it'll come a point where you'll look at someone and think you should be a bit further now, but you haven't put the work in. So I think for me now, I'm trying to just go back to the basics, like how do people vocally train their voices? How do you sustain it? Because one thing about me, like if I pray too hard, my voice goes very quickly.
We were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah. And if I pray, that's what I sound like after. And I think it's knowing, okay, like that's fine, but how do you look after your voice? How can you train your voice to have a bit more strength? How can you ensure there's longevity? Like sometimes the Lord will carry you for longer than you anticipated. How can you ensure that your voice is able to like hold that capacity? So I think now it looks like me just doing a lot more research into the technical side of things and trying to make sure that vocally I'm able to do a lot of things. And I'm trying to strike the balance of not placing emphasis on being the most vocally dexterous, but also having that in the bag so that if the Lord wants to release a certain sound, I have the ability to do that. So I would say, yeah, for me, I'm almost like at the beginning of that journey right now, like learning what it looks like to perfect your craft and to really care about it. Because I love music a lot, but have some discipline in your love for that thing, like learn how to do things properly. So even speaking to like our worship leaders at church, for example, that's something I want to be a lot more intentional about, sitting down with them and understanding how did you become so good at what you do. I think also I was having a conversation actually with Minister Michaela the other day, and we were talking about our influence, like the music that we used to listen to when we were younger, and we were saying some names of like the people and the genres that we listened to, and I was thinking, I don't know. I used to have a very strong stance of like, I don't really want to listen to secular music because I don't want it to influence me at all, which I do agree with, because obviously the spirit that carries a song can influence you. So I want to protect my gates in that regard. But the skill that some of those people have, I learnt a lot from them when I was younger. And I think now I have to ask the Lord again, like, am I allowed to kind of do that now? Like, I don't know, but I think there's room to learn from those people, because one thing about them is that they're very, very, very talented and they're very skillful. When you think about Brandy and even the likes of like Destiny's Child back in the day, how they would train their voices, I think there's something to take from the way they cultivated their gift. So I think, going back to study that kind of stuff and how do you navigate that, but making sure that I'm protecting myself from the things that don't glorify God. I don't know if that answered your question.
It does. Yeah, most definitely. That makes a lot of sense. Perfect your craft. Practice makes perfect. I mean, it's the same thing we say with your job and stuff, you know? Like, at the end of the day, if you don't practice something, you have to be good at it, you know? So it's good to know. It's good to know. What advice would you give to someone struggling with insecurity and leading worship?
I think it goes back to that thing I said like earlier. Learn to fall in love with your thing. Like, you're you for a reason. God made you, and then he made the person next to you as them. Like, love who he's made you and love the things that he's given to you. And I think, try to focus on authenticity. And I think that kind of helps you detach from the insecurity. So again, I think analogies are something that I really like, right? It was like, the way I thought of it one day was like, if God gives me a medal, I don't really care what color the medal is. Like, God gave me the medal. It's if he's given that thing to me, that's all the weight that it needs. Like, it's big enough because he gave it. It doesn't matter what the color is. You get what I mean? So if he gave you a gold one and he gave me a silver one, I'm happy with my silver because it came from him. I don't really care what color your medal is. Like, I got it from him. And I think it goes back to the parable of the talents. Like, that guy felt like he wasn't able to do a lot with just the one because other people got 10 and other people got 5. But if he was focused on who gave it to him and figuring out why he was given that one, he would have been able to produce a lot more from it. And I think there's a portion of insecurity that pushed him to put that thing in the ground and not do anything. Yes, laziness was a part of it, but I also feel like insecurity as well, because he didn't really feel like he was able to do much because it didn't look like 10 or 5, right? Yeah. So I think understanding the mission that God has given to you with the thing that he's given to you, and loving him will reveal to you or unveil to you what it is in you that he wants to do. And then you'll be able to have an appreciation for that thing. And then once you appreciate that thing, I think authenticity becomes more important to you, because you realize that your message is so special. That expression that's been given to you is so special because the Lord knows that you're this kind of person and there are people that resonate with that message that you have. So the expression that he wants to release through you, like, don't try to hide that or don't try to mold that to someone else's, because then it depletes it, like it undermines that thing. Do you know what I mean? So I think, learning to love God and understand his nature, how he loves you, why he's deposited that thing in you, and then that expression has more room to come out. And I almost feel like just naturally the insecurity starts to go away because you're not fixated on what you think looks perfect. You've come to love that thing that has been given to you. So, yeah.
That's great. Yeah. So now we'll go on to something a bit more lighthearted. Yeah,
okay.
I know you can have your fun now. You can breathe. You can relax, okay? So I will... Well, we call this or that.
Okay.
So I'll give you 2 options of things, and then you tell me which one you prefer and why.
Okay.
So we'll do it like that. Okay, cool. So first one is contemporary worship songs or traditional hymns.
Ooh. I love a hymn though. That's hard.
It's not gonna be easy. Like with this list, it's not gonna be easy for you, honestly. So choose well.
Okay. I'm gonna say contemporary worship songs just because I love a hymn, but sometimes I forget the words of them. Like, and I feel like you can't mess up a hymn. Do you know what I mean? But with the contemporary ones, I feel like you
can get away with
it.
One, we've seen it a few times.
Yeah, change your wording a little bit. Yeah, so that I'll pick a contemporary.
Okay, cool. And what's one of your favorite worship songs of all time?
I have quite a few actually, but I think one that I really love, or the first one that came to mind as you asked that question, Voice of God by Stephanie Gretzinger. That's a big tune. And the rest of them. Yeah. We
were listening to that the other day actually in the car.
I love that song. And it's when she gets to that point where she, holy, holy, holy. And I was like, what? Like,
you see her? That woman.
I want to speak to her.
Bro.
I do.
Listen.
I do.
To be fair, I was watching a teaching that she did the other day, and you see, every time she just speaks, she just starts weeping. And she just starts weeping. She'll be like,
I used to think Jesus. Like, Stephanie, are you okay?
Bro, no, honestly, I went to a conference in 2018 and I saw her, and she was there, and every second she's just weeping. Jesus. And I'm like, there's something different that you've
understood,
that you've seen.
And I need to learn that
bro,
thing.
Because it's like every second. And I said, hey.
Yeah.
I said they should just keep a box of Kleenex next to her.
Because she needs it.
Every time.
Yeah.
Oh, tears. But now even her, she's incredible. Like, if there was one person I could interview and sit down and talk to,
it would be her.
She's up there still.
Yeah, because she just has such a beautiful revelation. I think then it dawned on me, it's not that she just wants to cry for fun. Like, she's genuinely so burdened by the misconception that so many of us have of believers of Jesus. And I feel like her thing is just, I just want to let you know who he really is. And she always says it, like, he is the reward. You shouldn't be looking for anything else. It's not about the song you sing. It's not about if you like a song. If you're focused on, I don't like this song, then you've missed the point of what worship actually is. Like, she's just so remarkable. And she said something actually in one of like the things I heard her say. She was talking about her child, and she was saying that he even walks around the house saying, pick up your cross.
Yeah, that's the teaching I was the other day. I said, It said, "Mommy, pick up your cross."
Pick up your cross.
I
Pick
said,
up your
"Wow."
cross. But then it's even testament to the fact that like her crying on the pulpit, it doesn't just stop there. There's obviously something that her children have understood about the way she carries herself. Like her life clearly is worship. For her son to have picked up this burden, to pick up this message about, it's about Jesus. And he's so young, right? So yeah, man, she just, every time she worships, like it just takes you somewhere, because I think her sound really reveals a love, a genuine love for him.
It's pure.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pure.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
cool.
that one, I'd say, I like that.
Yeah, that's a good teaching, to be fair. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Jesus Image.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. CCM or gospel style? Classic American gospel.
I like the CCM.
CCM. Yeah.
Sorry. I like that one, but sometimes
Yeah, CCM is... CCM, do you know what's so funny? You know, Panim was never like
this. I heard,
like, Pastor Ethel had a guitar out.
I heard about this.
Yeah, like, bro.
Yeah, I want to see this.
Yo, no, I'm sure there's videos somewhere.
I want to watch.
Pastor Ethel, guitar out, everything, like, bro, like, to be fair, back in the day when we all used to like have like gatherings and stuff, someone would just have a guitar, would be in a room, like, remember what I was telling you about, just gathering people in a room, and it would just be a guitar, maybe someone on the keys, and guys were just scattered around the room just worshiping like old school CCM music. Like it was, and now it's just you know, like obviously that's beautiful.
No, it is.
But you know, sometimes.
But I like that there is a mix though, because I feel like it is still very.
Yeah, we still get it.
Yeah, but I think like it's good. But this, I was gonna say, I feel like the fact that you started there, I almost feel like when you come from that place of worship, and maybe I'm wrong, but I almost feel like it helps with the longevity, because those kind of songs keep you grounded, right? They remind you of what you're doing. And now that there's the expression of, yes, Spirit of God, katu, kata, like it's what Minister Kanan was speaking about, like, you get empowered by the Holy Spirit to become a witness, but if you don't have the understanding of like love, burden is produced from love, right? So if you don't have that love initially, then that burden will fade away very quickly. So I think the fact that you come from that place, and then now there's the understanding of, yes, we love Jesus, but what are we doing with the love for Jesus? And we cultivate an environment where, we need to be empowered by his Spirit. There we go. Yeah. I'd like to see some more. I think it's the floor, and
it's a great place to start. To be honest with you, like,
and I think it should be maintained. Like, it should never leave.
It's still like, even with where we are now with our heavy prayer and prophetic culture, like that element is still there, because there's Sundays where that happens.
Exactly.
You know, like
exactly.
Obviously, we like to pray, we like to worship, but bro, there's sometimes where you just sit at his feet. And just let him do whatever he wants to do, you know?
And it's important to have those moments, for
it
sure.
Is. It really is. Okay, cool. So, what would you prefer if you had a chance to be a part of a movement? Would you choose Bethel music? or Maverick City music, like the original Mav, like Chandler, Dante, Steph, Naomi, like, you know, when they were recording volume 1, 2, and 3, like that era of Mav.
What would I prefer?
Like, if someone said to you today, go through the left door, you're going to chill with the Bethel music lot, or go to the right, you're chilling with Mav and making music with them.
I think I'd still choose Bethel, you know. I think I would. I think I'd choose them. Because I like their expression. And like the whole culture of the whole church, like not even just the worship team, but everything about where they've come from. Yeah. I really like that. So I think I would choose them.
Yeah.
I think I would choose them.
Yeah, would I choose them?
I love Mav though.
No, you know what? Yeah.
But I would choose Bethel.
I probably would choose Bethel just because I've seen it in person.
And I want to. I think that's what it is. Like, I really want to.
it's just so beautiful.
Yeah. And I think even when you watch online, like everything is pure. Like it's just so pure. And everything that they release is just so you know?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you prefer a spontaneous worship set or something structured?
Anybody that's my friend. Hey, I don't. Spontaneous only. Spontaneous. And that's why I actually love being here, because I feel like it's teaching me again, you need to know how to do like structure. Even when I was voices leader, boy, I was getting flogged, man. You can't just go to rehearsal and decide like, oh guys, we're going to rehearse this, but we're not going to do that. Like I had to get into that structure, but spontaneous. Because then you don't feel in a box. I don't like to feel like I'm in a box. I like to just feel like whatever I want to do, wherever the Lord leads me, like I can just go. But I feel like sometimes with the structure, I almost feel so boxed in that spontaneous, man. Let's just take it where we need to go, you know? Let's enjoy the moment. Like you can live in the moment, stay where you want to stay, and then go anywhere. I like spontaneous. But I am learning though that with structure, you still can get that feeling of the spontaneous when you understand, like you have a revelation of each song that's in there. Like you give each song room to breathe, and then it feels like it's spontaneous.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, cool. And if you could host a worship night and you could invite 4 ministers, UK, Africa, America, who are you choosing?
Now this is a good question. I don't know the answer. It's a good question.
I feel like it's not fair to well, you can only do 4, sorry. And
that they're the only 4 ministers that are coming. Yeah. So I have to think about how they would work together as well then, isn't it? I can just pick. Okay.
It's like you're picking your all-star lineup, basically.
Golly. I would say... Oh, this is hard, you know? This is hard. It is, because I love so many different ministers for different reasons.
Okay, cool. When you pick the 4, tell me why. Why those people?
One of them might sound a bit... My reasoning might sound a bit... But recently, I've really been loving K Strings, right?
Yeah.
K... What an anointed man of God. I love K Strings, but I also love the fact that he doesn't really sing in English.
Yeah.
Right? He's always singing in Hausa, and I feel like it's made
I don't even understand what he's saying.
Exactly.
When I go and check the lyrics, it's making sense.
Oh, this is beautiful. Yeah. But then I just feel like even the fact that I don't really understand Hausa, and I check it after, but like, I still feel something. So it takes me to a place. I feel like his worship is also something that's really, really pure. And really, he doesn't do too much. Like it's literally him and some form of string.
And a guitar,
and he just takes us somewhere, right?
Let's do it.
So I actually would pick him because I think, when I worship alongside his music, I just always end up in a place of deep adoration for the Lord. So I think I'd ask him to come. I love Pastor Nathaniel Bassi. I love Dunsin. I love Minister Theo. But you can't just... So that's not my list, right? I'm just saying like who I like. I don't know. K Strings. Esther Idowu. I love her. I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's really special.
There was a time I had one of her worship sets on repeat for like a month straight. Like I was listening to it every single day.
Yeah. Even there was one time I was worshiping it. You know, like you let your playlist just go. And there was one song and something changed and I was like, what? Like, who is that? I didn't know who it was, but you know when you're in the moment, so I said, let me finish my my session of prayer, then go and check. And I said, that was beautiful.
Didn't she come to like Warehouse Worship or something like that? Was it her? I feel like...
I don't know.
It was either her...
Or Sumi Solo.
Yeah, no, I think it was her actually in Manchester.
Yes, actually, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it actually was.
I was like, bro, but you see, hey, Warehouse Worship,
I need to go.
Because the way that every time I just hear out on a random day like they're doing an event,
and I'm like, what happened to the promo,
bro? Like please, like, give me some more time, give me some more
What happened to
information.
the promo? Some of us wanted to be in the room, but we didn't know until the day the tickets are gone and it's far. So it's
And also
like a
Manchester,
double.
please, we're tired. We don't want Manchester
It's
anymore.
far.
Come back to London.
Yeah.
You know, because the original, there was the one that they did a few years ago. I remember they did it in London. I went. And I was like, yeah, man, this
Let's
is
do more.
like, please come back.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to go to Manchester. Nobody wants to go there.
It's far, but I feel like I would take the journey. I just never know. But that's my bad. Maybe I should put post notifications.
Yeah.
Then I will know when they release that thing.
Maybe I should just follow their Eventbrite account and then you just...
Yeah, and turn on the notifications of that because all my app notifications are off.
Fairs.
Maybe that's the issue.
Okay, so...
Sorry, two
K-strings.
Yes, Esther Idowu.
Esther Idowu. Two
more. Different countries. I'm trying to think like across the globe. Oh, what? Hello, Stephanie Gretzinger. Hello. Come on. I even yeah. Definitely her.
Yeah.
And we've just explained why. And then the last person I think would be this is just really hard. I think...
Okay, how about this? You've done 2 people from Africa.
Yeah.
You've done an American.
Yeah.
Somebody in the UK.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. Oh, this is hard. But now you... Okay.
So got lots and lots of...
We do. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think I would say JC May.
Okay.
I really appreciate her, actually.
That's
different,
nice
isn't it? It's different, but I really
like
appreciate her, the way she ministers and the language that she gives when she does minister. I think it would be her, or not gonna lie, like before I came to Panim, I actually really love Grace Tenor. I really do. And I think it was when I started listening to her songs and I was like, oh, this sounds like someone, obviously everyone's come from a journey, but I think when I heard her music, like you can really hear the journey that she's been on with like identity and unlearning, relearning.
Yeah.
And the way she takes you to a place. Actually, yeah, sorry, Jason May. Grace Tenor. Sorry, Jason May, but if I could have 5.
You'd add a special guest.
Exactly.
You know what, fun fact, Minister Grace was the first ever guest on this podcast.
Really?
Yeah. She was the first ever guest.
She's powerful.
Yeah, she's I think we need to actually, because that was years ago. We might have to bring her back and talk like, you know,
what else
couple years later, what's happened now? Like,
exactly.
Where are we at now? You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, yeah, I think I would always pick her. She's a special individual, man.
Yes.
Special individual.
And the way you journey, that journey that she takes on when she worships is...
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Oh, I should have done a cop-out, PCM.
Nah.
I should have done a cop-out. Because then everyone...
That's a cop-out.
Because I can say that about everyone.
But you know what, though? They're a collective in it, so
exactly.
they technically count as one, but no.
Well,
unfortunately.
Okay. For the purpose of your question.
Yes, Minister Grace.
Yes,
okay,
Minister Grace.
That's amazing. Okay, cool. So that is our segment of fun and games over.
Fantastic.
Now, back to the fun and interesting stuff.
Okay.
So for you, when things aren't the best or they don't feel as normal as what you're used to, and you're still called upon to lead worship, how do you navigate that season or time period when you kind of look like, I'm not really feeling it this time, like I'm not in the best position, but I've been called upon to do X, Y, and Z. How do you navigate that?
How? Good question. I think I have one of 2 responses, but it depends how bad I am. Sorry, it's cold.
Don't worry, it's fine.
One of 2. I would say if I'm really in a state, like I'm really not doing well at all, I would kindly decline. And that's not because, like, I know that you can obviously lead and like your life is not always gonna be perfect, right? But I think when you know you're in a position where like I'm genuinely really not doing well, I don't want to go up there and just be leading from a point of like I'm all over the gaff. Because I'm sorry, I'll turn that into my own my own session with the Lord, and I won't be doing the job I should be doing, which is taking everyone to where the Lord wants to take them.
Yeah.
I feel like it would end up being me. It kind of be like a spillover of like what I feel like I need with the Lord in that moment. It would almost be kind of like a selfish type of worship. Like I wouldn't be conscious of what the room needs. I wouldn't necessarily be so sensitive as to where the Lord wants the room to be, but it would be, Lord, I'm really bleeding from the inside and I need you in this capacity.
Yeah.
And I'd probably be a bit too like to that side. So I'd probably just decline if I was really, really bad. But when it's like life isn't great, I think I just remind myself that there's something, like I said about the expression thing, there's an expression that he wants to release now with this room. And there's someone in this room that really, really needs him and maybe they haven't been able to get through to him by themselves. And I can put aside, maybe I've had a bad day or I've had an argument or I've gone through this situation. And I remind myself of like, the Lord's love is for everyone to be experienced and it should be expressed when he wants it to be expressed. And I almost feel like it's a bit selfish to be so wrapped up in my own things that I'm going on, that are going on in my life. So I don't know. I just try to remind myself of like his love, which sounds a bit cliche. But I'm really trying to think of an example of when that happened to me. And I wasn't feeling the best at all. But what I knew the Lord wanted to do in that place, like I tried to remind myself of like his mercy and his love in that moment. And the fact that I don't want to quench someone else's ability to experience that.
Yeah.
So focus on that, his nature. And I think when you start to remind yourself of that nature anyway, it just, everything else kind of leaves and you just fall back in line.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good answer, but that's kind of what I do. I just try to meditate on his nature and his character. And in doing that, it becomes easier to get over whatever's happening outside. And more often than not, you end up kind of leaving a bit more lifted anyway. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So finally, what is one piece of encouragement you would give to someone who is being called as a worship leader, but they are struggling to navigate that? They don't know they don't know where to start. They don't know what to do. What's one piece of advice you would give that person?
Well, the first part of it was like encourage them, right? The first thing I would say is like, remember that you're special. Like, I think sometimes people forget that they are special. Psalms 119 is really good for that. I would tell you to read that. That would be one bit of advice. I would say read that. And remember that you are special and there is something in you that the Lord has put there for a reason. And I would say just fall in love with the journey, fall in love with God. And I would say that everything else becomes easier. You're going to have days where you feel like it's tough and I can't do this, and that's okay, but keep yourself at his feet and keep meditating on his person, meditate on his love, meditate on the fullness of him, and try to, when I say enjoy your journey, like enjoy getting to know him in different facets and in different ways. And I think that helps you discover, it sounds so cliche, man, but it helps you discover him. And it's like that's the first point of everything. Discover him. And then it makes it easier to start that journey, because in you falling in love, I really want to share this expression. In you falling in love, like, oh my gosh, he's shown me this and he's placed this in and I want to share this with people and take them to this place. So I'd say start there. Like, remember that you're special, read Psalms 119 and fall in love with him first and keep yourself in that mind of being in love with him, and everything else will will flow, I would say.
Amen.
Amen.
That's a great piece of advice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. This has been great. And one thing I like all my guests to do is just to say a prayer for everyone watching and listening. Wherever you feel led to go. If you could pray for the listeners.
Yes. In Jesus' name, Lord, we just want to thank you for this podcast and for this conversation, and for reminding us of the beauty of worship, the beauty of commitment to you, and the beauty of relationship with you. And Lord, I just pray for every single person that's listening right now. I pray that you help them to remember the foundations of their faith with you. And I pray that you would help them to fall back in love with you if they have fallen out of love, Lord. I pray that you would renew their love for you and their desire to get to know you, Lord. I pray that you would fill their hearts with, I keep saying your love, but your love. I just pray that your love is what surrounds them. I pray that your love is what encapsulates them. I pray that your love is what fuels their burden. I pray that your love is what fuels their expression. I pray that your love is what is made manifest to the people around them, Lord. I pray that where people have fallen out of love with you, I pray that you bring them back to you. I pray that you make yourself known to them in the way that you know that they need to see you, Heavenly Father. I pray that you help them to remember that this union with you is for life, and it doesn't stop when days get difficult. So I pray that when the days are difficult, Lord, that you send encouragement to them. I pray that the same way that you encouraged Habakkuk and you encouraged Zechariah and you encouraged Peter and everybody, I pray that you send that encouragement to your children, Lord. I pray that you help them to remember that in everything you are with them, and that where you are with them in the valley, then that place becomes a place of holy ground and a place where they can still feel safe because you are there. And I pray that for the person that just feels really lost and anxious right now, Lord, I pray that you would help them to call upon your name and be expectant. And to the person that is fearful right now, Lord, I pray that you would help them to remember the words that you spoke to Jairus, which is, do not be afraid, but only believe in your ability to do that which only you can do. So Lord, we just bless your name, and we thank you that you did what you did for us on the cross, and that even in spite of the things that we had done that were wrong, you've still made yourself real to us. We bless your name in Jesus' name. Amen.
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 Amen. Thank you guys for listening and for watching. We'll see you again on the next episode. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Send this to someone who needs to hear it. But yeah, God bless you guys. Peace.
Bye.